If you ever hear something running outside your house at night, and it sounds too fast to be human, do not look outside. I made that mistake. And what I saw that night has been following me ever since. My name is Ethan Walker, and this happened in a small town in northern Montana called Pine Hollow. It's the kind of place where winters are long, forests stretch for miles, and the nights are so quiet you can hear your own heartbeat. Nothing ever happens there. At least, that's what I used to think. I moved to Pine Hollow 6 months ago. I work remotely, so I wanted somewhere isolated. Somewhere quiet. A place where I could focus, away from the noise of the city. The house I rented sat at the edge of the forest. Literally the last house before the trees began. Behind it, nothing but miles of dense woods. At first, it felt perfect. No neighbors close by. No traffic. Just silence. But after the first month, I started noticing things. Small things. Easy to ignore. At night, I would sometimes hear something moving outside. Not footsteps. Not exactly. More like something running. Fast. Too fast. It didn't sound like a deer. Or a dog. Or anything normal. The first time I heard it, I got up and looked through the window. Nothing. Just darkness and trees swaying slightly in the wind. I told myself it was probably an animal. This was Montana, after all. Wildlife was normal. But the sounds kept happening. Every few nights. Always around the same time. Between 2 and 3 in the morning. Running. Circling the house. Stopping. Then running again. Like something was watching me. The strange part wasn't just the speed. It was the pattern. It always stopped near my bedroom window. Every single time. And it stayed there. Completely still. For minutes. Like it knew exactly where I was. I should have left then. Any normal person would have. But I didn't. Because I hadn't seen anything yet. Not until that night. The night everything changed. It was colder than usual. Snow covered the ground outside, reflecting just enough moonlight to illuminate the edge of the forest. I woke up suddenly at 2:37 in the morning. At first I didn't know why. Then I heard it. Running. Louder than ever before. Closer. Right outside the house. My heart started racing. I sat up in bed, listening carefully. The sound circled the house once. Twice. Then it stopped. Right beneath my window. Silence. Complete silence. I held my breath. And that's when I heard something else. Breathing. Slow. Heavy. Not from inside the room. From outside. Right on the other side of the wall. Every instinct in my body told me not to move. Not to look. But curiosity got the better of me. Slowly, I stood up. Each step toward the window felt heavier than the last. The wooden floor creaked softly beneath my feet. The breathing outside didn't stop. It didn't move. It just waited. When I finally reached the window, I hesitated. For a few seconds I just stood there, listening. Then, I pulled the curtain aside. And what I saw standing in the snow was not an animal. It was standing on 2 legs. Tall. Too tall. Its body was covered in dark fur. Its arms were long, almost reaching its knees. And its head was not human. Long snout. Sharp teeth. Eyes reflecting the moonlight. Locked directly onto mine. It didn't move. It didn't blink. It just stared at me. And then, it smiled. For a few seconds, I couldn't move. I just stood there, staring at that thing outside my window. And it stared right back at me. Its eyes didn't look like an animal's. There was something behind them. Something aware. Something that understood exactly what it was doing. The smile slowly faded from its face. Not naturally. More like it wasn't supposed to be smiling in the first place. Like it had forced that expression, just to show me it could. My body finally reacted. I stumbled backward, my heart pounding so hard it felt like it might tear through my chest. When I looked back at the window, it was gone. Just gone. No sound. No movement. Nothing. I rushed to the door and locked it, then checked every window in the house. Everything was closed. Everything was secure. But that didn't matter. Because whatever I had seen, it wasn't normal. That night, I didn't sleep at all. I stayed in the living room with all the lights on, holding a kitchen knife like it would somehow help. Morning came slowly. Too slowly. And when the sun finally rose, I almost convinced myself it had all been a nightmare. Until I stepped outside. The snow around my house was covered in tracks. Deep. Heavy. They circled the house exactly the way I had heard the night before. But what made my stomach drop was the shape of them. They weren't normal animal tracks. They looked like footprints. But wrong. Longer. Wider. With deep claw marks at the front. And they were bipedal. 2 legs. Just like what I had seen. The tracks led right up to my bedroom window. And stopped there. I felt a chill run through my entire body. Because there was something else. Another set of tracks. Fainter. Almost hidden beneath the snow. Human footprints. Barefoot. Walking toward the forest. Starting from the same place. I followed them with my eyes until they disappeared into the trees. My mind tried to make sense of it. Tried to find a logical explanation. But nothing made sense. Not the tracks. Not what I saw. Not the way it looked at me. That wasn't an animal. And it definitely wasn't a person. I went back inside and grabbed my phone. There was only one place in Pine Hollow where I might get answers. The local diner. Small towns always have one. And everyone always knows everything. The diner sat in the center of town. Old wooden building. Faded sign. The kind of place where everyone looks up when you walk in. And that's exactly what happened. The moment I stepped inside, conversation stopped. People turned. Not in a friendly way. In a cautious way. Like they already knew something was wrong. I sat at the counter. An older woman walked over to me. Gray hair. Sharp eyes. She didn't smile. "You're the one living out by the forest," she said. It wasn't a question. I nodded slowly. She leaned a little closer. "Did you hear it last night?" My throat tightened. "Yes," I said. "I saw it." The entire diner went silent. Even the people who weren't looking at me before were now. The woman didn't react immediately. She just stared at me. Like she was deciding whether I was telling the truth. Then she spoke. "Describe it." I hesitated. Then I told her. Everything. The height. The fur. The eyes. The way it stood. The way it smiled. When I finished, no one said anything. Not for a long moment. Then one of the men sitting in the corner spoke. Low voice. Rough. "You saw it up close," he said. I turned toward him. He didn't look at me. He just stared down at his coffee. "That means it's marked you." A cold feeling settled in my chest. "What does that mean?" I asked. The woman at the counter finally spoke again. "It means," she said quietly, "it knows you now." A nervous laugh escaped me. "That doesn't make any sense." "What is it? A bear?" "Some kind of It's not an animal, she interrupted. Her voice was firm. Certain. It used to be a man. Silence filled the diner again. No one argued. No one laughed. They all just sat there. Like this was something they already accepted. I felt my stomach twist. You're saying it's human? The man in the corner shook his head slowly. No, he said. Not anymore. I swallowed hard. Then what is it? The woman leaned even closer. Her voice dropped to a whisper. It's been here longer than any of us, she said. And every few years, it comes back. My heart started racing again. Comes back for what? She looked me dead in the eyes. For someone new. The words stayed in my head the entire way back home. For someone new. I tried to convince myself they were just superstitions. Small-town paranoia. Stories people tell to make sense of things they don't understand. But deep down, I knew that wasn't true. Because I had seen it. And whatever that thing was, it wasn't a myth. It was real. And it had looked directly at me. The road back to my house felt longer than usual. The further I drove, the quieter everything became. No cars. No people. Just endless forest on both sides. When I finally pulled into the driveway, something immediately felt off. I couldn't explain it. Nothing looked different. But the silence was heavier. Like the woods themselves were holding their breath. I stepped out of the car slowly. The cold air hit my face, sharp and dry. For a moment, I just stood there, scanning the tree line. Waiting. Listening. Nothing. No movement. No sound. I told myself I was being paranoid. But as I walked toward the front door, I noticed something that made my stomach drop. The snow was disturbed again. Fresh tracks. They hadn't been there when I left that morning. These were new. And they were closer than before. Much closer. They didn't circle the house this time. They came straight from the forest. Right up to the front door. And stopped. I felt my chest tighten. Slowly, I looked up. At the door. At the handle. There were marks on it. Deep scratches. Like something had tried to open it. Not randomly. Not like an animal clawing. But deliberately. Like it knew exactly how a door worked. I didn't move for several seconds. My hand hovered just inches from the handle. Then, with a deep breath, I unlocked it and stepped inside. The house was exactly how I left it. Nothing out of place. Nothing broken. But the feeling didn't go away. If anything, it got worse. Like something had been there. Recently. Watching. Waiting. I shut the door quickly and locked it. Then I checked every room again. Closets. Bathroom. Storage. Everything. Empty. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling. I went back to the living room and sat down, trying to think. The people in the diner knew something. That was obvious. This wasn't new to them. They weren't surprised. They were afraid. And that meant this had happened before. I grabbed my laptop and started searching. Pine Hollow, Montana. Disappearances. Animal attacks. Anything. At first, nothing came up. Just normal town history. Population stats. Local events. But then I found something. An old article. Buried deep. Dated 1989. Man missing after night shift near Pine Hollow Forest. I opened it. The details were vague. A lumber worker had gone missing after leaving his shift late at night. His truck was found abandoned near the edge of the forest. The doors were open. Engines still running. No signs of struggle. No body. Just gone. I kept digging, and found more. Every 10 to 15 years. The same pattern. A man disappears near the forest. Always at night. Always alone. No explanation. No evidence. Just silence. My hands started to shake slightly. This wasn't random. This was a pattern. A cycle. And if the people in town were right, then that thing didn't just appear. It chose someone. I leaned back in my chair, trying to process everything. And then I remembered something the woman had said. It used to be a man. That meant one of those missing people didn't die. I felt a cold wave of realization wash over me. What if they changed? What if every disappearance wasn't an ending, but a beginning? My thoughts were interrupted by a sound. A soft one. From outside. A slow, deliberate step. Then another. My entire body froze. It was still daylight. That had never happened before. The steps moved across the porch. Heavy. Measured. Not running this time. Walking. I stood up slowly, barely breathing. The front door creaked slightly as something pressed against it from the outside. Not scratching. Not forcing. Just leaning. Like it knew I was right there on the other side. The wood shifted under the weight. A low sound followed. Not quite a growl. Not quite a voice. Something in between. And then a single, clear knock. 3 times. Slow. Controlled. Intentional. My heart felt like it stopped. Because in that moment, I understood something. This thing didn't just hunt. It thought. It planned. And whatever it was doing now, it was no longer hiding. I didn't move. Not after the knock. Not after the sound of something standing right on the other side of my door. Every instinct in my body screamed the same thing. Do not open it. The silence that followed was worse than the knocking. Because it didn't leave. Whatever was out there, it stayed. I took a slow step backward, trying not to make a sound. The floor creaked slightly beneath my foot. And the moment it did, the thing outside reacted. A low, distorted breath pressed through the wood. Closer. Heavier. Like it had leaned in. Listening. I held my breath completely. Seconds passed. Maybe minutes. Then, another sound. Not knocking this time. Scratching. Slow. Deliberate. The claws dragged across the door in long, controlled lines. Not trying to break in. Not yet. It felt like a warning. Or worse. Like it was testing my reaction. I couldn't stay there. If it decided to force its way in, that door wouldn't hold for long. I moved carefully toward the back of the house, grabbing my keys and my phone along the way. My plan was simple. Get to the car. Drive back to town. Find people. Light. Noise. Anything that wasn't this. I reached the back door and unlocked it as quietly as I could. The moment the lock clicked, the scratching at the front door stopped. Instantly. The silence that followed was absolute. My heart dropped. It heard that. Of course it heard that. I slowly opened the back door. The cold air hit me again. The forest behind the house looked darker now. Even in daylight. Like something inside it had shifted. I stepped outside, closing the door behind me without making a sound. For a second, everything was still. Then, a loud impact hit the front of the house. Wood splintered. The door. It had forced it open. I didn't wait. I ran. My boots crushed the snow as I sprinted toward the car. Another crash echoed from inside the house. Heavy footsteps. Fast. Too fast. It was already moving through the house. I reached the car, fumbled with the keys, and unlocked it. As I pulled the door open, I heard it. Behind me. Closer than it should have been. I turned instinctively. And saw it. Standing at the corner of the house. Half hidden by the wall. Watching me. Its body was even larger in daylight. More defined. The muscles beneath its fur moved unnaturally. Its chest rose and fell with slow, controlled breaths. And its eyes, they weren't glowing now. They were clear, focused, almost human. It tilted its head slightly, studying me. Then it took a step forward. I jumped into the car and slammed the door shut, locking it immediately. The engine roared to life as I turned the key. The moment the sound filled the air, it moved. Fast. Faster than anything I had ever seen. In less than a second, it was right in front of the car. Its hand slammed onto the hood with a deafening impact. The metal dented instantly under the force. I froze. It leaned down slowly, bringing its face level with the windshield. Close enough for me to see every detail. The texture of its skin beneath the fur. The sharpness of its teeth. And its eyes. They weren't empty. They weren't animal. There was intelligence there. Recognition. And something else. Something worse. It knew me. My hands trembled on the steering wheel. Go, I whispered to myself. But my body wouldn't respond. The creature opened its mouth slightly. And for a split second, it looked like it was trying to speak. Then, a sound came out. Broken. Distorted. But unmistakable. My name. Then. My entire body went cold. It said my name. Before I could react, it slammed its fist against the windshield. The glass cracked instantly. That snapped me out of it. I hit the gas. Hard. The car lurched forward, throwing the creature off balance just enough for me to brake past it. I didn't look back. I just drove. Faster than I ever had before. The road blurred as I sped toward town. My hands shook uncontrollably on the wheel. My mind replayed the moment over and over again. It spoke. It knew my name. And the way it looked at me. That wasn't hunger. That wasn't instinct. That was something else. Something personal. And then a thought hit me. So sudden, so terrifying, it made my stomach twist. What if it wasn't just choosing someone new? What if it was choosing me? I didn't stop driving until I reached the center of town. Even then, I kept the engine running. Like turning it off would somehow make everything catch up to me. The diner came into view again. Same building. Same quiet streets. But now, everything felt different. Like I didn't belong there anymore. Like something had followed me. I parked right in front and stepped out quickly, scanning the area. Nothing. No movement. No sign of it. But that didn't calm me down. Not after what I had just seen. I walked into the diner, breathing heavily. This time, no one pretended not to notice. They all looked at me immediately. Because they could see it. Something had changed. The same older woman from before walked up to me again. "You saw it again," she said. I nodded. "It came to my house. In daylight." That got a reaction. Murmurs spread across the room. A few people stood up. Others exchanged worried looks. "That's not normal," someone whispered. "It doesn't do that," another said. The woman's expression hardened. "What happened?" she asked. I hesitated for a second. Then I said it. It said my name. The entire diner fell silent. Not just quiet. Dead silent. like the air itself had stopped. The man from the corner slowly stood up. This time, he looked directly at me. And there was something in his eyes I hadn't seen before. Fear. Say that again, he said. It said my name, I repeated. His jaw tightened. That's never happened before. I felt my stomach sink. What does that mean? I asked. The woman didn't answer right away. She looked around the diner, then back at me, like she was deciding whether to tell me the truth. Finally, she spoke. Come with me. She led me to a small back room behind the kitchen. The man from the corner followed. He closed the door behind us. The noise from the diner faded instantly. What I'm about to tell you, the woman said, doesn't leave this room. I nodded. I just want to know what that thing is. She exchanged a glance with the man. Then she took a deep breath. The last person who disappeared, she said, was 11 years ago. My chest tightened. Who was it? The man answered this time. His name was Daniel Carter. The name hit me harder than it should have, because it sounded familiar. Too familiar. Why do I know that name? I asked. The man studied me carefully. Because you're not from here, he said slowly. You said you moved here 6 months ago, right? I nodded. Where were you before that? Seattle, I said. Why? The man's expression darkened. Daniel Carter had a brother. My heart skipped. What? A younger brother, he continued. He left Pine Hollow years before Daniel disappeared. I felt a cold wave move through my body. What was his name? The man didn't answer immediately. He just kept staring at me. Then finally, Ethan. The room felt like it tilted. That's not possible, I said quickly. My last name is Walker. The woman shook her head. Names can change, she said. People leave towns like this and start over all the time. I took a step back. No, that doesn't mean anything. But even as I said it, something didn't feel right. Memories surfaced. Fragments. Things I had never questioned before. I didn't remember much about my early childhood. Not clearly. Just pieces. Blurry images. Voices. A house near trees. A cold night. I always assumed that was normal. That everyone's childhood memories were incomplete. But now, I wasn't so sure. When Daniel disappeared, the man continued, people searched for weeks. They found nothing. No body. No signs. Just tracks leading into the forest. My breathing became shallow. That doesn't prove anything, I said. The woman stepped closer. Except for one thing. I looked at her. What? She lowered her voice. Some people said they heard something that night. A pause. A voice. My heart pounded. What kind of voice? She didn't look away. Calling a name. Silence filled the room. And I already knew what she was going to say next. They said it was calling for you. My entire body went cold. That's impossible, I whispered. I wasn't even here. The man shook his head slowly. You were, he said. You just don't remember. A loud ringing filled my ears. Everything around me felt distant. Unreal. You're saying, I struggled to speak. That thing out there. The woman finished the sentence for me. Was your brother? The room fell into silence again. But this time, it felt like something inside me had just broken open. Because deep down, somewhere beneath the fear, I felt it. Recognition. The word echoed in my head long after she said it. Brother. It didn't feel real. It couldn't be real. But the moment I tried to reject it, something inside me resisted. Like a door in my mind had been locked for years. And now it was starting to open. "No," I said, shaking my head. "That's not possible. I would remember something like that." The man didn't respond. The woman didn't argue. They just watched me, waiting, like they had seen this before. "You said you don't remember much from your childhood," she said quietly. "That's not unusual. But in this town, it means something." I swallowed hard. "What are you saying?" She hesitated. Then, "Sometimes," she said, "when people leave Pine Hollow after something like this happens, they don't remember everything." A cold chill ran through me. "That doesn't make any sense." "It does," the man said. "When your mind is trying to protect you." Silence. My hands were trembling now. Not from fear alone. From something deeper. Something pulling at old memories I didn't even know I had. "Tell me what you do remember," the woman said. I closed my eyes for a moment. Tried to focus. At first, nothing. Just darkness. Then, fragments. A house. Smaller than the one I lived in now. Wooden walls. A narrow hallway. Cold air leaking through the windows. Voices. 2 of them. Mine. And someone else's. I opened my eyes suddenly. "I had someone," I said. My voice felt distant. Like it wasn't fully mine. "There was someone with me." The woman nodded slowly. "Your brother." The word hit differently this time. Less like a shock. More like something I was starting to remember. "He was older," I continued. "Not by much." I pressed my hand against my temple as more images surfaced. "We used to go into the woods." The man's expression tightened. "How far?" he asked. "I don't know," I said. "Just deep enough that the house wasn't visible anymore." "That's where it started," he muttered. I looked at him. "What started?" But before he could answer, another memory hit me. Stronger this time. Clearer. Night. Cold. Snow. Me and him. Standing at the edge of the forest. "You hear it too, right?" his voice said. I could hear it perfectly. Like I was there again. "What?" I asked. "The sound," he said. I listened. And then I heard it. A low, distant howl. Not like a wolf. Deeper. Wrong. It echoed through the trees. I felt fear. Even in the memory. "We shouldn't be out here," I said. But he didn't move. He just stared into the darkness. "It's calling," he said. The memory shifted. Faster now. More chaotic. We were deeper in the woods. I didn't remember walking there. But suddenly we were surrounded by trees. The moonlight barely reached the ground. "Daniel, stop," I said. But he kept going. Following something I couldn't see. "Do you see it?" he asked. "No," I said. But he did. I could tell. Then, movement. Something between the trees. Too fast to follow. A shape. Tall. Watching us. My chest tightened in the present. "That's when we saw it," I whispered. The woman leaned forward. "What happened next?" I didn't want to continue. I could feel it now. The fear. The panic. The moment everything went wrong. "It came closer," I said. Slow at first. Like it wasn't afraid of us. The man clenched his jaw. "It never is," he said under his breath. My hands started shaking again. It looked at him. I continued. Not at me. Only at him. Like it had already chosen. The room felt colder. It stepped into the light, I said. And that's when I saw its face. I paused. Because even now, remembering it made my stomach twist. It wasn't just an animal. It had a face like. I couldn't finish the sentence. Because I had already seen that face again. At my window. At my car. The same creature. The same eyes. Only now, I understood something I hadn't before. Back then, it wasn't looking at me. It was looking at him. And now, it was looking at me the same way. My breathing became uneven. "What happened to Daniel?" the woman asked softly. The question hung in the air. Heavy. Unavoidable. And then, the final part of the memory surfaced. The part one had buried. The part my mind had hidden from me for years. "There was blood," I whispered. The room went completely still. "A lot of blood." The memory didn't stop this time. It kept going. Stronger. Clearer. Like something inside me had finally given up trying to hide it. "I remember running," I said. My voice sounded distant. Like I was describing someone else's life. "After I saw it, I ran." The woman and the man didn't interrupt. They just listened. Carefully. "Daniel didn't," I continued. "He stayed there. Just standing. I could see it now. Perfectly. The snow beneath our feet. The trees surrounding us. The creature stepping closer. And Daniel. Not moving." "Why didn't he run?" the man asked. I swallowed hard. "Because it was talking to him." The room went cold. "Talking?" the woman repeated. I nodded slowly. "I couldn't hear it clearly back then, but now I think I understand." "What did it say?" she asked. I closed my eyes again. Focused. And then I heard it. That same broken voice. Distorted. Deep. "You belong to this place." My heart started racing. "It was telling him something," I said. "Something about the forest. About becoming part of it." The man cursed under his breath. "It chose him," he said. "It always chooses one." I opened my eyes. "But it didn't attack him," I said. "It didn't chase him. It just stood there. Waiting." The woman's expression darkened. "Because he accepted it." Those words hit me harder than anything else. "What?" "She's right," the man said. "If he didn't run, if he listened, he let it in." A deep unease settled in my chest. "No," I said. "That's not." But the memory continued, and it proved them right. "I stopped running," I whispered. I turned back. I don't know why. But I did know. Even now. I had heard something too. Not as clearly as Daniel. But enough. Something calling. Something pulling me back. "I saw him," I said. "He was on his knees." The room felt smaller. Harder to breathe. The creature was right in front of him. Close. Too close. And Daniel. I hesitated. Because this was the part one didn't want to remember. The part that made everything worse. He wasn't scared. Silence. He was calm. The man shook his head slowly. "That's how it works. It doesn't force you. It convinces you." My stomach twisted. "It touched him," I said. "Just placed its hand on his head. And then..." I stopped. My chest tightened. The images became sharper. More violent. "There was a sound," I whispered. "A crack." The woman's hand covered her mouth. And then the screaming started. The memory broke apart for a second. Then came back all at once. Daniel's body convulsing, bones shifting, stretching, breaking, his scream changing, becoming something else, something deeper, something not human. I tried to go back, I said. I tried to help him, but I couldn't move. Something was holding me there. The man leaned forward. It wasn't holding you, he said. It was showing you. A cold realization settled in. It wanted me to see, I said. He nodded. It always leaves one witness. Why? I asked. So you remember, he said. So it can come back later. My heart dropped. The memory reached its end. I saw his face, I said. Right before it changed completely. The room was completely silent. And he looked at me. I felt my throat tighten. He said my name, the same way the creature had said it at my car. Broken, distorted, but still him. Then, the screaming stopped, and the forest went quiet. Too quiet. I ran after that, I said. I don't remember how I got home. I don't remember what happened next. The woman spoke softly. You were found the next morning. Alone. No sign of Daniel. No tracks except yours. My hands were shaking uncontrollably now. That thing, I said slowly, is my brother. The man didn't answer. He didn't need to. Because we all knew it was true. But why now? I asked. Why is it coming back after all these years? The woman looked at me carefully, and I could see it in her eyes. She already knew the answer. You said it spoke your name, she said. I nodded. It didn't do that before, she continued. That means something changed. A long pause. Then she said the one thing I didn't want to hear. It's not just watching you anymore. My chest tightened. Then what is it doing? She didn't hesitate this time. It's finishing what it started. The words echoed in my mind. Finishing what it started. I felt a slow, creeping dread settle into my chest. What does that mean? I asked. But deep down, I already knew. The man stepped closer. This thing, he said, it doesn't just turn someone and disappear. It passes something on. I frowned. Passes what on? He hesitated, then said it plainly. A part of itself. The room felt colder. He wasn't just taken, the man continued. He became part of it. And now, he looked directly at me. It's coming back for the rest. My throat went dry. That doesn't make sense, I said. Why would it wait this long? The woman answered. Because you left. Silence. You were a child, she continued. And something like this, it needs time. Time to grow. Time to fully take over the host. Time to come back stronger. My heart started pounding again. And now it's ready, I said quietly. She nodded. And it remembers you. A sharp tension filled my body. That's why it's not hiding, I said. That's why it came during the day. That's why it said my name. The man gave a slow, grim nod. It's not hunting you, he said. It's calling you. The words sent a chill through my spine. Calling me for what? Neither of them answered immediately. And that silence told me everything. For the same thing that happened to Daniel, I said. The woman looked away. The man didn't. Yes, he said. I shook my head. No. That's not happening. It doesn't matter what I want. He stepped even closer. You think your brother wanted it? That stopped me. Then how does it choose? I asked. The man took a breath. It doesn't choose randomly, he said. It picks someone connected. Someone who's already been exposed. My stomach twisted. Me. He nodded. You were there that night. You heard it. You saw it. That's enough. The woman added quietly. And now you've come back. The weight of that hit me hard. Like everything had been leading to this. Like I hadn't just moved to Pine Hollow by chance. I forced myself to think. There has to be a way to stop it, I said. There has to be. The man and the woman exchanged a look. There was something there. Something they hadn't told me yet. What? I pressed. You know something. The man exhaled slowly. There is a way, he said. My heart lifted for a split second. Then tell me. But you're not going to like it, he added. Just tell me. He hesitated. Then, it only comes for you at night. That's when it's strongest. That's when it can fully change you. I listened carefully. Which means, he continued, if you want to stop this, you have to face it. The hope faded quickly. That's not a plan, I said. That's suicide. The woman stepped in. Not if you understand how it works. I looked at her. Then explain it. She nodded slowly. It doesn't force the change, she said. It offers it. It gets into your head. It makes you feel like you belong to it. Like the forest is calling you home. My chest tightened. Because I had already felt that. Even now, there was something in the back of my mind. A pull. Subtle. But real. You have to resist it, she said. No matter what you hear. No matter what you see. The man added. If you give in, even for a second, it's over. Silence. And if I don't? I asked. The man's expression darkened. Then you get one chance. My heart pounded. One chance to what? To kill it. The word hung in the air. Heavy. Final. That thing is my brother, I said. The man didn't look away. Not anymore. A long silence followed. I could feel it now. The fear. The truth. The inevitability of it. Where? I asked. Where do I find it? The woman answered this time. You don't. It finds you. And as if the universe itself was listening. A sound echoed outside the diner. Low. Deep. A howl. Not distant. Not far away. Right at the edge of town. Every single person in the diner froze. No one spoke. No one moved. Because they all knew what that meant. The man looked at me one last time. It's time. No one in the diner moved after the howl. It echoed through the town like something ancient had just announced its presence. Not loud. Not chaotic. Controlled. Intentional. Like it wasn't just a sound. It was a signal. It's calling you out, the man said quietly. My heart pounded in my chest. Then I don't go, I said quickly. I stay here. With people. The woman shook her head. It won't matter. It won't stop. It'll keep coming closer. Closer to the town. Closer to everyone. I looked around. The people in the diner weren't panicking. They weren't even surprised. They were afraid, but in a quiet, accepting way. Like they had lived through this before. How many times has this happened? I asked. No one answered. And that silence told me enough. Too many. I ran a hand through my hair, trying to think. If I leave town, I said, drive as far as I can. It will follow you. The man interrupted. It followed you back here, didn't it? I froze. Because he was right. I had left Pine Hollow years ago. And somehow, I had come back. Or maybe, it had brought me back. A cold realization settled in. This was never random, I whispered. The woman nodded. No, it was always going to be you. My chest tightened. I didn't have a choice. Not really. If I ran, it would follow. If I hid, it would find me. And if I did nothing, someone else might pay the price. I exhaled slowly. Then I end it, I said. The man studied me carefully. You understand what that means? I nodded. But the truth was, I didn't. Not completely. Not until I stepped outside. The air had changed. The temperature dropped noticeably. The sky was darker now. Even though the sun had barely set. The town felt wrong. Like something was pressing down on it. Watching. Waiting. Where do I go? I asked. The man pointed toward the road leading out of town. The forest will make that decision for you. I frowned. What does that mean? You'll feel it, he said. And I did. The moment I stepped onto the road. That same pull returned. Stronger than before. Not a sound. Not a voice. But a direction. Like something inside me already knew the way. I started walking. Each step felt heavier. Not physically. Mentally. Like I was walking towards something I wasn't meant to survive. The town disappeared behind me quickly. The trees grew closer. Darker. Denser. The moment I crossed into the forest, the feeling intensified. The air was colder here. Thicker. Every sound felt amplified. My own breathing. The crunch of snow beneath my feet. The faint movement of branches in the wind. And then, silence. Complete. Unnatural silence. I stopped walking. My instinct screamed at me again. This was the place. This was where it wanted me. A low sound echoed through the trees. Not a howl this time. A breath. Close. Very close. I turned slowly. Nothing. But I could feel it. Watching. Circling. Just like before. Except this time, it wasn't hiding. A shadow moved between the trees. Fast. Then another. It was testing me. Positioning. Waiting for the right moment. I clenched my fists. You wanted me here, I said, my voice shaking slightly. I'm here. The forest didn't respond. But something else did. A shape stepped out from behind the trees. Slowly. Deliberately. The same towering figure. The same dark fur. The same eyes. But this time, there was no distance between us. Only a few feet. It stood there, completely still. Looking at me. And for the first time, I didn't feel like prey. I felt like something else. Like I was part of this. The creature tilted its head slightly, studying me. Then it took one step forward. I didn't move. Another step. Closer now. Close enough to see its face clearly. And then, it spoke again. Clearer this time. Stronger. Ethan. My chest tightened. But I held my ground. What do you want? I asked. It didn't answer right away. It just kept staring. Then slowly, it raised its hand. Not to strike. Not to attack. But to reach. Just like it had done with Daniel. The memory hit me instantly. The same movement. The same moment. The same choice. And I understood. This was it. This was the moment everything came down to. The creature's voice came again. Less broken now. almost human. Come back. The pull inside my mind surged violently, stronger than anything I had felt before. Images flooded my head. The forest, the cold, the silence, a strange sense of belonging. Like this was where I was meant to be. Like this was home. My body started to move, without me telling it to. One step forward, closer to it. My hand lifted slightly, mirroring its movement. The voice in my head grew louder. You belong here. You always did. My vision blurred. My thoughts slowed. It felt peaceful, like letting go, like becoming something more, something stronger, something free. My hand moved closer to its, just inches away now. And then, I heard another voice. Faint, buried beneath everything else. A memory. Daniel's voice. From that night. Screaming. In pain. Not peace. Not freedom. Pain. And in that moment, everything snapped back. I stopped. My hand froze midair. The creature's eyes narrowed. The calm expression cracked. And something else came through. Anger. The moment I stopped, everything changed. The calm vanished. The silence shattered. And the thing standing in front of me, my brother, was no longer patient. Its hand didn't lower. It stayed there, suspended in the air, waiting. But now I could see it clearly. This wasn't an offer anymore. It was a demand. Come back, it said again. But the voice was different now. Less human. More distorted. Like whatever part of Daniel had been there, was slipping. I shook my head slowly. No. The word felt heavier than anything I had ever said. The creature's expression twisted. Not confusion. Not surprise. Rage. A deep, violent growl tore out of its throat, echoing through the forest. The trees around us seemed to vibrate with it. You belong here, it growled. The pull in my mind surged again. Stronger. More aggressive. Images flooded my head. Not peaceful this time. Dark. Violent. Hunting. Blood. Teeth. Bones breaking. A life inside the forest. A life without fear. Without weakness. Without being human. My knees almost buckled. But I held on. Because beneath all of it, I could still feel something else. Daniel's scream. That final moment. That wasn't freedom. That was suffering. I'm not you, I said, forcing the words out. And I'm not becoming you. The creature snapped. It lunged. Fast. Too fast to react. Its claws slammed into my chest, throwing me back into the snow. The air left my lungs instantly. Pain exploded through my body. I barely rolled to the side before its claws struck the ground where my head had been. The impact cracked the frozen earth. I scrambled backward, trying to get up. It didn't give me time. It was already moving again. Relentless. Precise. This wasn't a wild animal. This was something that knew exactly how to kill. I stumbled to my feet and ran. Branches whipped against my face as I pushed deeper into the forest. I could hear it behind me. Close. Always close. The sound of its steps wasn't chaotic. It wasn't chasing blindly. It was controlling the distance. Hurting me. Just like it had done all those years ago. My heart pounded. My lungs burned. I couldn't keep this up. I knew it. And it knew it too. I needed to end this. Now. I stopped suddenly and turned around. The creature was already there. It didn't slow down. Didn't hesitate. It came straight at me. And this time, I didn't run. I waited. Until the last possible second. Then I stepped forward. Not away. Toward it. My hands grabbed onto its arm as it struck. The impact knocked me down again, but I held on. Tight. The moment our skin touched, the world around me shattered. Images flooded my mind. Not mine. His. Daniel's. I saw everything. The night he changed. The years that followed. The endless hunger. The constant pain. The moments where he tried to resist. And failed. Again and again. And beneath all of it, I felt him. Still there. Buried deep. Screaming. Not for blood. Not for control. For release. My grip tightened. I know you're still in there, I said through clenched teeth. The creature thrashed violently, trying to break free. But I didn't let go. You didn't choose this, I said. And neither will I. For a brief second, everything stopped. The creature froze. Its body went rigid. Its eyes changed. Just for a moment. From something monstrous to something human. Daniel. Then, it whispered. The voice was weak. Broken. But it was him. Tears blurred my vision. I'm here, I said. You don't have to do this anymore. Pain twisted across his face. Not physical pain. Something deeper. I can't, he said. Yes, you can, I replied. You just have to let go. The forest around us seemed to darken. The presence inside him, inside the creature, reacted violently. A deep, inhuman scream erupted from its chest. No. The voice wasn't Daniel's. It was something else. Something older. Something that had been inside him all along. The creature's body convulsed. Fighting. Resisting. The grip I had on him burned. Like touching something alive beneath the skin. You're not taking him, I said. The words came out stronger than I expected. You don't get another one. The presence pushed back. Hard. The ground beneath us cracked. The trees shook. It was trying to force its way into me now. I could feel it. Clawing at my mind. Trying to break through. Trying to replace him. My vision blurred. My thoughts slipped. But I held on. Because this time, I understood. It needed permission. Just like before. And I wasn't giving it. Let him go, I said. The pressure in my head intensified. Images. Voices. Pain. But I didn't move. I didn't break. And then, something changed. The resistance weakened. Just slightly. But enough. Daniel's voice came through again. Faint. I'm sorry. My chest tightened. It's not your fault, I said. And then, he let go. The effect was immediate. The creature's body collapsed inward. Like something had been pulled out of it. The dark presence shrieked. A sound that didn't belong in this world. And then vanished. Gone. Just like that. The forest fell silent. Completely silent. I released my grip slowly. The body in front of me fell into the snow. No longer a creature. No longer something monstrous. Just a man. Still. Lifeless. I knelt there for a long time. Not moving. Not thinking. Just breathing. The cold air filling my lungs. The silence pressing in around me. It was over. Days later, the town called it an animal attack. They always do. The forest was avoided again. Just like before. And I left Pine Hollow. For good this time. I don't go near forests anymore. I don't stay anywhere too quiet. Because sometimes, late at night, when everything is still, I feel it again. Not a voice, not a sound, just a pull. Faint, deep in my mind. And I can't help but wonder, did I really end it? Or did I just delay it? Sleep carefully tonight.